All right, it is empties time, so let's talk about my garbage. I'm gonna first start out with makeup because I think that's a little bit more interesting than skincare, so we'll do all the makeup products first and then we'll move into skincare as the video progresses. To start off, I have finished another foundation this year, and this is another Revlon Color Stay. Quite proud of this one. This is the Revlon Color Stay Normal to Dry Skin in 220 Natural Beige, and I really love Color Stay. I think it's one of the best drugstore foundations that are out there, and I really don't know why I bought Normal to Dry Skin for a deeper shade, because I've been wearing this throughout the summer and my skin is nowhere near dry during the summer, that's for damn sure. So aside from that error on my behalf, I would absolutely consider repurchasing this again. My only problem at this point is I have probably 20 foundations sitting in my beauty collection at this point, and I need to cycle through them. So while this is an excellent product, I currently don't have the capacity to add another foundation into my routine. So I recommend it to you, but I'm not gonna be picking it up anytime soon until I'm at least through a few more foundations. Next we have two gel liners, and the first one is kind of sad because I love this thing, but it's dead in the water at this point. This is Inglott's gel liner in the number 79, and it is, oh, it's kind of gunky, their red gel liner. And I loved this for creating a really sharp red winged eyeliner look. It's just, I think it's a fantastic product and I love the color of it. Sadly, this thing dried out and it formed like a crack down the middle of it. So I went out and I bought Duraline and I tried that out. I added a few drops and it didn't seem to do anything. It was still, like, it made it gunky. It went from dry to like gunky. Like you couldn't apply it to your eyes. It just created like lumps. And then I added more Duraline and that didn't make it any better. So I mean, I know people rave about Duraline, but it did not work for me and it definitely didn't work to revive this product. So time to junk it, because I mean, I'm not gonna put any more effort into trying to make this thing survive any longer. And then the next one is MAC's Black Track Fluid Line, and this is probably my second or third little tub of it, and I've completely finished it up. I think this is one of the best gel liners on the market. I think I remember buying this in 2013, so it's lasted about 3 years while still being creamy. Now I need to say that I didn't use it for 3 years straight. I bought this, used it for a little bit, and then bought Tarte's Black Gel Liner, went through that entire pot, and then went back to this one and finished it up. And yet, throughout those few years, this thing was still super creamy and it lasted until the end of its life being used up while still remaining creamy. So that's really incredible, especially when I compare it to like the Inglot one, which I think only took about a year to dry out and then it was just like, you're done, right? So MAC's gel liners, fantastic. And how exciting is it that I finished a lipstick? This is Bite's Fig Lipstick, and I finished this right down to the very end. I know I could dig in there and scoop away at it, but like, I'm not that desperate. I have plenty of lip products that I can get through without having to worry about digging even deeper. So I have already bought a backup of this and I'm currently digging my way through that one as well. This is an absolutely gorgeous color, but I think it's funny because in person, I think it looks a little bit, maybe too pink on me. It looks a little bit strange. But whenever I see myself in a photo wearing this lipstick, I think it's the most beautiful shade I've ever seen. So I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but Bite's Fig looks good on me in pictures, so that's why I wear it. And of course, I have finished up a NYX Microbrow in taupe. I don't know where the other cap went to. I've gone through tons of these ever since they launched them. I think it's one of the best brow products for the price point. It is way cheaper than the Anastasia one and it works practically the same as far as I'm concerned. I've already bought a new one and I'm already using it. Next up is an invisible lip pencil called No Bleeding Lips, and this is by the brand called No Cosmetics. It's okay. This is the second one I've been through because it was sent to me by PR. I haven't purchased these myself. It's good enough to use, but it's not something that I would buy myself just because I found a better product. MAC's Prep and Prime for lips is hands down the best lipstick primer that I own. But like, this worked well enough to continue using it. So, I mean, I think it's only 12 bucks. So if you're looking for something cheaper than MAC, because I think the MAC one's over 20. It's worth it. And this just prevented lip line bleed out that I am exceptionally prone to. So yeah, it was okay. Next up we have a mascara, and this is Tarte's Tartist Lash Paint Mascara. I got this at Gen Beauty, and at first I was like, oh, they've given us mascara. I do not need more mascara in my life. But I love this. This was one of their newer releases. It's got a plastic brush and it combs through my lashes and gives me enough volume. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And kind of similar to the foundation, I would consider repurchasing this, but I probably have 7 mascaras sitting in my collection right now waiting to be used. They're not opened yet. So I would buy this, but I'm gonna have to put off until I'm at least through a few more mascaras. And another brow product, I finished up the Annabelle BrowShow. I think this is light. I've already finished it so much there's no shade name on it. The eyebrow pencil was on this side, and then this is more like a highlighter for underneath your brow. I didn't really use that. I found it a little bit too pink tone for my liking, but the brow product itself was fantastic. I like the consistency of it. I like how it applied to my skin, because I wouldn't say hairs because I don't have a whole lot towards the edge there. But I found that this pencil was very, very thick. I mean, you can see that it's one of these chubby style pencils, and it just required a lot of sharpening in order to get a very slim point so that I could fill in the tail of my brows. So you kind of lose a lot of product with all the sharpening, but I mean, if you like this kind of chubby style pencil, this one was really good. Okay, we've got a few eye primers. We have the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eyeshadow Primer. This was quite good. This worked on me quite a while before I needed to use a second primer, because as I've mentioned, I feel like I do it over and over again, but I have to use 2 eyeshadow primers. Doesn't matter what the brand is. But this worked for, I think, for like a week or 2 before I finally started to notice creasing, and then I just started doubling it up with another primer. And that other primer was Benefit's Air Patrol. This is, I mean, it's an eyelid primer, but they also bill it as a BB cream, which I think is really just there so that they can charge you more money, because there is not a whole lot of product in there. 0.13 fluid ounce in the Benefit Air Patrol, and I think this costs something like $39 Canadian. And yet this little sample size of Lorac has 0.19 ounce. This was free as a sample, and this was $39. This has more product in it. Come on, Benefit, that is ridiculous. Anyway, I didn't find that this worked on its own, so I had to double it up. The other thing I will point out though is that this comes with this kind of like squishy top, and you're supposed to twist the product up and it comes out the top, and you're supposed to use a spongy end to apply it to your eyelid. That spongy tip was absolute garbage. I cut it off, as maybe you can see from there, because you can't blend anything with a spongy, gelatinous tip like that. And it got so gunked up that the product was coming out in like thick globs, so I just chopped the end off, and now I would dab it on my finger and apply it to my eyes. So honestly, I can't say pass on this one hard enough based on the price tag, the lack of product, and just like the ridiculousness of the delivery system. I'm also calling it quits on a pair of false lashes. These are the House of Lashes Au Naturales. I have worn these a ton in videos. They're just starting to look a little dazed and confused at this point, and they're kind of losing their shape. So I'm just gonna junk them. I have more, and I'm using them currently. All right, I've got 4 different liquid liners here, so let's just run through them. This is a NYX Studio Liquid Liner in silver. I bought this for a Halloween costume 2 years ago, and it worked then, but it's starting to get really gunky, so I'm done with it. So that one's going straight in the garbage. And the other one is a Makeup Forever ink liner that I was sent, and it's, I liked it because I like how deep, inky, black, and matte it is, but I've just decided I am done with these dip pot eyeliners. I don't want anything to do with them anymore. It's too annoying to me to dip into this little pot, put it on my eye. Inevitably, for whatever reason, I just find that it, like, the rest of the wand gets gunk all on my lashes. I can't deal with the dip pot anymore, so I'm done with it. If you like dip pot liners, I think the ink liner by Makeup Forever is quite good because the product worked quite well, but this style is just not for me. And then these two other eyeliners, one is a pen style by Chella. This is an indigo blue one. I got this in an Ipsy bag. This was fantastic. It's got a really long pointed tip. It delivered color right to the edge of that tip. The color was gorgeous. The longevity was fantastic. Chella, this was a fantastic eyeliner. And the other eyeliner is by Nicka, also from an Ipsy bag. And this is their Shimmer eyeliner in green. This was a dip style as well. The color on this is phenomenal. This delivers beautiful, semi-sparkly metallic eyeliner like I have never seen another brand do. The only thing that's a little bit strange is that the tip on this isn't felt, it's not a brush, it's like plastic. It is hard plastic, which feels really not great when you're applying it, but the color was so beautiful, I was willing to make exceptions. But again, I am now done with this dip style eyeliner. This thing is near the end of its life, so into the garbage it goes. Okay, another eyebrow product that I thought was gonna be similar to an Anastasia one, but turned out not to be. This is the NYX Tame and Frame in, I think, blonde. And I hit pan on it. I did sort of enjoy it, but I found the older it got, the less creamy it got. And it was never as creamy as the Anastasia Dip Brow, so I didn't love it because it wasn't as easy to apply. But as it got older and older, it just started to dry out and it was becoming more hassle than it was worth to apply to my eyebrows. I would not repurchase this again, and I will absolutely buy the Anastasia one again. So I like the micro brow better for NYX, but I definitely prefer the pomade from Anastasia. All right, next we have a nail polish, and this is China Glaze's Pool Party. I still probably have about a third of the nail polish left, but it's time to call it quits because this thing has gotten very, very gunky. It's a beautiful color. I think this color is just, oh, it's stunning. But it required like 3 coats, and even then it would chip really, really easily. So, you know, you're done. Your time is done. All right, and to transition us from makeup into skincare, I am throwing out my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I somehow tore this while washing it. I have no idea how that happened. It's never happened before, but you know, there's a first time for everything. I love this thing. It's the best way to apply foundation for me. I'm using another one and I already have another backup waiting in the wings because I will not be without this ever since I discovered it. All right, let's move on to skincare. And right off the bat, I have 2 makeup remover wipes. They are both by Neutrogena. This more teal colored one is definitely the better kind. This is the hydrating one. This removes any kind of makeup. This non-hydrating one, I think this is the one that most people use. I don't love it as much. I just think that the hydrating one is so much better. So I tend to repurchase these, and I'll get this one if it's on sale, but I really only use this to remove like arm swatches. So not entirely practical for people who are not bloggers or vloggers. Next up is a Fresh Body Milk by L'Occitane, and this is their Verveine scent. This is it's a thinner moisturizer, so it's not like a body butter or anything like that, but I really like the scent on this and it was really nice to use. So yeah, I should check out more by L'Occitane because I'm not familiar with a lot of their range. I feel like it was something more like my mother would use, but yeah, I'm starting to get to the age where I'm interested. Next up is a product that I'm sure you've seen before in my empties, and that is Bioderma's Sensibio H2O Micelle solution. This is fantastic. I use this to remove fallout when it's gone underneath my eyes. I also use this to clean up my face after I've used like an oil-based makeup remover. I mean, this stuff is just great for everything. I have more of them sitting in various places in the apartment, so I can't live without it. And then we have a face cleanser that took me forever to finish because this thing is huge. This is Soap & Glory's Peaches and Clean Deep Cleansing Milk. I have to say I'm not overly familiar with cleansing milks as a facial wash, but this one was okay. I didn't feel like it smelled too much like peaches. It was more like a subtle hint of peach, I guess. It was fine. I probably wouldn't repurchase it again just because I'm interested in trying other products and my skin is not especially sensitive, so I can try anything I basically like, but I mean, it was okay. 2 more makeup removers here. We have the Marcel Gentle Makeup Remover for sensitive eyes. This is the oil-based one and it removes waterproof makeup. I've been using this over a decade, hands down, my absolute favorite makeup remover, no matter what the price tag. I have spent 3 times the amount of the cost of one of these on a makeup remover, and they did not work nearly as well. You can't beat Marcel for makeup removers. You can't. You just can't do it. And the other one I have is a Makeup Forever Sens'eyes Waterproof Sensitive Eye Cleanser. I got this at Gen Beauty, and it's okay. I mean, it does the job perfectly well. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't like these thicker kind of milky cream formulas for makeup remover. I prefer like the Marcel where it's more like oil based. So, I mean, it's fine, but it's just not for me. All right, I've got 3 different products from the Body Shop, all in the same scent, and that's their Virgin Mojito line. So I think this came out, not this past summer, but the one before, and I'm not sure if they re-released it, so I'll skim through this quickly. The Body Sorbet, I used to love the feeling of these body sorbets, but more recently I've started to discover that it leaves a little bit of a sticky film on my skin. So although I've gone through about 4 different bottles of the Body Sorbet, I think I've just decided to call it quits with it because it's, you know, I'd rather something that sunk in a little bit better and didn't kind of stick to my sheets. Love the smell though. And the Body Shop can do no wrong with their shower gel. So I love this Virgin Mojito shower gel. It was honestly the perfect shower gel. It smells fantastic. It lathers up well. It lasts quite a long time. Like, you don't need a ton of product with these ones. So, I mean, you get plenty of bubbles if you just use like a very tiny squeeze. So absolutely fantastic. And then the last one in the Virgin Mojito line is their body scrub. And this has little beads in it that I know a few people have been concerned in the past when I did a review on these, that these were the kind of beads that did not dissolve and were like ruining our waterways and stuff like that. That's not the case. The Body Shop puts in dissolvable little scrubby beads in here, so you don't have to worry. However, for the product itself, it feels more like a gelatinous scrub where the beads themselves are not abrasive enough. So I really felt like I was just slathering myself in kind of a jelly goo, and it wasn't really doing a ton of exfoliation. That might be good for somebody who has especially sensitive skin, but I'm not that way, so I kind of wanted something a little bit more abrasive. However, if you like the scent and you like that kind of soft scrub, this one's good. Okay, I've got a few items from Mary Kay, and I think these were all in their spring launch. So these are 2 Into the Garden products, which is a really nice scent. It's like a it's not too floral. It's like a really clean green scent. But this was their foot scrub, which I use to scrub the backs of my heels and try to remove as much dead skin as I possibly can. Loved it, and I have another one currently in my shower right now. And the other one is the Into the Garden Foot Fizzies. I did not use this for my feet. I basically used this as one enormous bath bomb and just dumped all 10 of them into the tub when I wanted it to smell good. And the other product from Mary Kay is their Forever Diamondz Shower Gel. And I spent forever trying to figure out if this smelled refreshing or grandma scented. That's really like opposite ends of the spectrum in my mind. Yeah, I'm still floating between the two. I think in the end I decided that it was a little bit too grandma scented, so I was not gonna keep buying from the Forever Diamondz line. But I mean, it's a pretty small tube for shower gel, so I got through it pretty quickly, and it doesn't linger forever on your skin. So it was nice to use, but I mean, I wouldn't buy the scent again. Next up was a product that I was sent by Real Chemistry, and this is the Luminous 3-Minute Peel. This is one of those products where you're supposed to use it on your skin and like watch the dead skin like peel off as you like rub it around, you know, just exfoliate the top layer. I didn't notice that happening, so I can't say based on this one sample packet that it actually did anything. So, pass for me. And we have another Body Shop product in here. This is the Oils of Life Intensely Revitalizing Essence Lotion. And I didn't know until relatively recently that lotion was just a fancy term for toner. I think Spiffy Kerms or Nancy told me that on Snapchat, and I was like, oh. So I've been using this as a toner since I figured out how to use it. And it's okay. I don't notice toner doing a whole heck of a lot to my skin personally, but I kind of like it as an added step between applying a moisturizer or a serum after I've cleansed my face. I will say though that the Oils of Life scent is not my favorite. It's very herbal, I guess. I use it because the products work, and they feel good on my skin. But the scent is not one of those things where I'm excited to use it on my face, if you know what I mean. And next up we have a moisturizer from Aveeno, and I'm sure I've mentioned these before. I love Aveeno. I've been using them since I was 19 years old. I think their products are absolutely fantastic. This is their Positively Radiant Daily Moisturizer, and yeah, I mean, I've got another one in my cupboard. I've got them on hand at all times. I have noticed more recently though that Aveeno is pretty much adding SPF to all of their facial moisturizers, and I'm not really keen on that because I would rather apply my own SPF if I'm going to be out in the sun. I know a lot of people like it, but for me, I would rather apply my own SPF. And I really don't think they make a moisturizer anymore that doesn't have SPF in it. So if that's the one thing I could ask from you, Aveeno, is please, please at least have one moisturizer that doesn't have SPF in it. Next up is Rapid Brow, and I've worn the edges off of this whole thing. I clean the sucker dry. There's no product left on this thing. So Rapid Brow is supposed to increase the appearance of your brows. I thought that was really interesting because nowhere did it say in the packaging or in the, there's a pamphlet inside the little thing when you buy it. Nowhere does it say that this is supposed to increase growth of your brows. However, I think most people buy this with the expectation that this will help their brows grow. So I did notice some brow growth. I thought it definitely plumped up my brows. I did a blog post on it where it showed what my brows looked like on day 1 and what they looked like 3 months later. And they do look bushier. I mean, not a whole heck of a lot. There's not a lot there to begin with, but there was definitely more than what I started with. However, this product is like $40 or $50, and I think it's up to you to decide if that's worth the minute amount of hair growth. Not everyone can justify spending 40 or 50 bucks on a product that amps up their brows a little bit. So I'll leave that up to you to decide if that's worth the price point. Next up is a lab sample from StriVectin Labs, and this is their Silver Peel-Off Purifier. This is not their finalized packaging. I actually received a lab sample ahead of release, and it comes in you can see the silver color there. It's got a pump top, and I think the actual packaging is not dissimilar, just looks a lot better than this. This is a silver peel-off mask. It is intended to purify your skin. I think this was a heck of a lot of fun. It was one of those you apply it all over your skin, similar to Glam Glow, that looks silver, and then you can rip it right off. I didn't notice anything intensely different in my skin. I did feel refreshed, and it did feel like it was cleaning my skin. I was surprised that when I pulled it off, I didn't feel like I needed moisturizer right after, because usually with a peel-off mask, you think it's removing a few things from your face, like oils, that you would need moisturizer right afterwards. But yeah, I didn't feel like I needed it. So that was actually quite impressive. So yeah, this was a lot of fun to use. And lastly, we have this enormous shower gel. My brother got this for me in France. I don't really know what the brand name is. It just says Fraise L'Exquise on the front, so it's a strawberry scented body wash. This stuff was okay, but it was weird in the sense that it smells like, lip smackers from the 1990s in the particular scent strawberry ice. So if you remember what that smelled like back in the day, that's exactly what this smells like. It's like a dead ringer. So it was a little bit strange to be applying body wash that sort of smelled like the way lip smackers tasted back in the day. So I went through this really quickly. I was just squeezing a lot of it out to make sure that I, used it up quickly. I wouldn't purchase it for myself, that's for sure. It's a little too fake scented for me. And we're done. That's all my empties in the last 3 months. I think I'm gonna stick to doing this every 3 months because it seems to be a good amount of products. The videos are a little bit longer, but I think doing this every 2 months would probably drive me absolutely bonkers. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.